everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing my ranking of the last 10 eyeshadow palettes I've tried. Where did all of these end up at? And yeah, there is quite a few rankings. I have Menagerie, Purr, Surge Blend Bunny Cosmetics, Cinderella, Sigma, Beauty Bay, McGrath, Wayne Goss. Yeah, I actually have 11 palettes to share with you guys, not 10. But if you want to know where the palette rank goes, definitely continue watching. If you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe. I upload 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss out. And let's just go ahead and jump right in. So the first palette I have to share with you guys actually returned, which is the Colourpop Lust to Dusk palette. I'll put a picture up on it. I returned that palette because it wasn't very unique. It had quite a few light tone shades in there. But the darker shades that I was super into that I wanted because of the palette, the dark purple and the dark blue, like jean color blue, they were very dry and I had to really build up the shadow for my lids. So I decided to return the palette. It didn't work out for me. So that one is definitely on the 11th spot. I feel like Colourpop gives us a lot of eyeshadow palettes and I love a lot of their color stories when they are unique. But a lot of the time they give us the same kind of color story with a few new pops of colors here and there, but that one definitely did not work for me. So I ended up returning that. So that one's definitely 11. So on my 10th spot, I have the Menagerie Cosmetics Purr palette. I actually thought of decluttering it. I posted it on my Poshmark and then I took it off. I think the packaging is cute. A lot of the time it's like animal kind of packaging. I don't really like this packaging, to be honest, with this animal. I do have the Pharaoh palette, which is more whimsy. It has little fairies on it and I don't mind that one, but this one I'm kind of like I don't know, I'm not a fan of the packaging. Definitely everyday color story. I really like Menagerie Cosmetics formula. I know they are discontinuing this palette here. I don't know, I got it to have like a more everyday kind of color story from them, but I'm not like in love with this palette. That's why I'm ranking it lower. I do, again, really like the Menagerie Cosmetics formula, but this is just, it's just okay for me. Ranking at number 9, I thought I would rank it up a little higher, but also, I don't know. Maybe it's a color story, I'm not sure. This is the Wayne Goss palette. This is the Luxury Eye palette in the pearl one. This is the color story. It's actually really pretty. It gave me really beautiful everyday looks, also very beautiful bridal looks, just really classic looks. But I don't know, I just wasn't super impressed with the formula. I thought about buying another one, but I wasn't, again, super impressed, so I haven't bought another one. I think it's a really good everyday color story. I would probably travel with this probably when I go to Florida in December, because it's nice and like I don't have a lot of options. I don't like having too many options when I travel because a lot of the time it's just super easy makeup looks. It's good for every day. Again, I just wasn't impressed with the formula on this palette. I don't know. It was okay. Again, that's why I'm ranking it number 9 now. Number 8 is going to go to my Give Me Glow Cosmetics Juicy Olive palette. I actually really enjoyed the looks I created with this. I guess you can probably create the look I am wearing with this palette, but I'm not wearing this. I'm wearing the Alien Cosmetics Not Normal palette. I've just used it a couple times, so I didn't include it in this ranking, but I really actually like this. The pigmentation on Give Me Glow, it's actually really nice. I only have 2 palettes from Give Me Glow. I also have Vintage Rose, and I really like that one as well. I do love the pigment, and again, they're pretty much green looks, and I could probably get this same look with this palette here. I really like it, so I definitely had to rank this one a little up higher. Not all the way on the top. I did rank it at number 8 just because it's more of just, I'm just gonna get green looks out of this, and I felt like the looks were pretty similar that when I did use this palette. So that's why I ranked it at 8. And then number 7 is going to my Temptalia x Sydney Grace palette. This is a Quintessence Light. I actually really love the color story in here, but it's not very wearable for every day. Here it is. The bottom row definitely, well, from here this way, definitely is like good for every day, especially right now during the fall time. But I feel like a lot of these pops up here I can't really wear for everyday use for like work and stuff. I just feel like they're a little too dramatic. The formula is super nice. I really love Sydney Grace shadows. They're really, really pigmented and creamy and very buttery. But again, just like color story wise for everyday use, I feel like I'd use half of the shades in here and the other half I wouldn't really use. So I guess that's really what I'm basing this ranking as. Is it like everyday appropriate, work appropriate? Next up, number 6 is going to my Sigma Untamed palette. This one's actually really nice. I think Sigma has kind of upped their formula, and which made me want to try more from them. I like that it has different shades in here, and the shimmers are actually pretty nice. The mattes are pretty nice. They're not really drying or anything in this palette anyways. I love the color story. I think this is definitely a fall appropriate palette. I will definitely get more use out of it during the fall season. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I love these like tones here. Every shade I think I've pretty much used besides the blue that's in here. But I really loved, again, the color story. I feel like it's pretty unique. And yeah, I really enjoyed this palette here. Now I'm on my top 5 picks. So for number 5, it was kind of tough to be honest. But my number 5 pick is gonna go to my another Sigma palette. This is the Cinderella palette. This one's super beautiful. I love the color story in here as well. I ranked this at number 5 just because everything in here is actually really nice, but 2 matte purples in here are more on the drier side, and I feel like the color story is beautiful. I love the jewel tone shades in here. I think they're really, really nice. The shimmers are actually super nice and creamy. Every matte in here from here this way are pigmented and they blend nicely, but these 2 purple shades I just had to build up a little bit. I didn't find any of like more drier matte shades in this one like I did in this one, but I did rank this one up 1 higher just because I love the color story and I love the theme as well. So yeah, this one is my number 5. Number 4 is gonna go to my Blend Bunny Cosmetic Surge palette. I've never tried the brand and I've only used it, I only have this palette here and I really enjoy it. Look how beautiful this color story is. I love that it has the pastels, darker shades, deeper shades, shimmers, and neons. It's like a really cool color story. I don't really have these kinds of shades in my collection, so I definitely had to pick it up when I saw it, that they were launching this. I've created really beautiful looks with this palette as well. The other 3 that I have, I feel like I've used more and enjoy more, and I feel like it's more wearable for me and my new job that I've been at for 2 months now. I don't know, I feel like these colors are nice, but I do like it. I actually really like it a lot. I think it's really pigmented and nice. I don't know, I just like these other last 3 a little bit more, so I had to put those ones up a little higher. And yeah, I really like the color story. Definitely will be checking out more from the brand and seeing what color stories are most unique to my collection, because I definitely have a lot of palettes. And again, I thought this one was really nice. Everything was nice. I didn't find any duds of the ones I have used. The shimmers are actually really pretty and vibrant as well. So this is my number 4. Okay, so my number 3, I keep changing it as I'm talking about them. So my number 3 is the Beauty Bay Wilderness palette. This is actually a really beautiful palette. I love the color story. I guess this isn't that wearable. It kind of is because the shades are like brighter, but they're on the deeper side, if that makes any sense. I just really like this palette. I think it's beautiful and I really enjoy it. I really love this palette. I love the shimmers in here. I did have the Book of Magic and that one just didn't work for me. My shimmers were really, really dry. So I decluttered mine, but then when I got this one and I swatched the shimmers, they're actually pretty creamy and really nice. So I haven't had any issues with this. I've used a lot of the shades in here as well. I think every single shade in here I would definitely use. This kind of color kind of intimidates me, but one out of like all of these shades that are in here, I don't think it's like bad or anything. So all the looks I've created again using this palette I have loved. So definitely had to rank this in my top 3. So my number 2 palette, I kept going back and forth with the last 2, but I'm going to give it to my Plain Jane palette by Adept Cosmetics. This is an all shimmer palette, but the shimmers in here are beautiful, pigmented, super reflective. I've never tried Adept before, which I probably should have put this at my number 1 just because it's the most unique from all of them in here, but this other palette, I feel like it's perfect for every day. my number one is. So this is one of the most unique palettes in my collection. I don't have anything that is very reflective and buttery and creamy like this. Look how beautiful these shimmers are, and they're really reflective on the eyes as well. So I definitely enjoyed this palette. This definitely had to be in my top 3. And I don't know, I've never tried Adept Cosmetics before. This palette was actually super expensive, and I know there's dupes to this palette, but I'm really happy I picked this up and I was able to snag it up. I would definitely purchase more from them. Their shimmers are actually super nice and creamy, and again, super reflective. So I'm really happy I have this in my collection. And the last palette, this is a palette I actually wasn't even going to pick up, and I contemplated on even putting it as my number one because I wasn't really wanting it. But now that I have it and I've been using it, I'm like, this is a really great everyday palette. The shimmers are amazing, and the mattes they're pigmented and they blend really nicely. So my number one is going to, again, the palette that I wasn't even thinking of picking up, and this is my Pat McGrath Mother Mega Celestial Odyssey Artistry palette. This is definitely perfect for every day. The shimmers are beautiful as well. This is a perfect everyday palette. The shimmers are beautiful. I even use this darker brown for work, and I just think it's nice. Like, I usually go for more of like a champagne kind of shade on the lids or a light pink, but I really enjoy that. All the mattes I have used in here, I've probably used half of the shimmers in here as well. I do still have it in this week's Shop My Stash, so I want to use the other matte shimmers in here, but just by the ones that I have used, honestly, the ones that I probably won't use as often are the deeper shades and this green, probably this shade right there, but everything else I would use for every day for work. It's very work appropriate. The shimmers are really nice and creamy and pigmented, very long lasting as well. I haven't had any issues with them fading throughout the day or anything like that. I've just been very surprised on how much I actually like this palette. I did pick up the holiday one from last year as well. That one I don't really reach for as often just because I feel like it's more deeper shades, and again, this one's definitely more like everyday use for me for sure, and I love the shimmers in here as well. So this is my number one. If you're eyeing it, I say definitely pick it up. The VIB sale is around the corner, so if you haven't picked it up by now, I definitely suggest just waiting for the VIB sale. But again, I'm happy I have this, and it's my number one. Like, I wasn't even gonna pick it up. So those are all the palettes that I have ranked for you guys. Have you tried any of the palettes here? Palettes that I mentioned, are you guys wanting to try? Have you tried them out? What do you think of them? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!